We need to relieve some stress, so we're going to read the Elon Musk book. With SpaceX, Musk is battling the giants of the U.S. military industrial complex, including Lockheed Martin and Boeing. He is also battling nations, most notably Russia and China. SpaceX has made a name for itself as a low-cost supplier in the industry, but that in and of itself is not really good enough to win. The space business requires dealing with a mess of politics, back-scratching, and protectionism that undermines the fundamentals of capitalism. Steve Jobs faced similar forces when he went up against the recording industry to bring the iPod and iTunes to market. The crotchety Luddites in the music industry were a pleasure to deal with compared to Musk's foes who build weapons and countries for a living. SpaceX has been testing reusable rockets that can carry payloads to space and land back on Earth on their launch pads with precision. If the company can perfect this technology, it will deal a devastating blow to all of its competitors and almost assuredly push some mainstays of the rocket industry out of business while establishing the United States as the world leader for taking cargo and humans to space. It's there that it's a threat that Musk figures has earned him plenty of fierce enemies. The list of people that would not mind if I was gone is growing, Musk said. My family fears that the Russians will assassinate me. With Tesla Motors, Musk has tried to revamp the way cars are manufactured and sold while building out a worldwide fuel of distribution network at the same time. Instead of hybrids, which in Musk lingo are suboptimal compromises, Tesla strives to make all electric cars the people lust after and then push the limits of technology. Tesla does not sell these cars through dealers, it sells them on the web and in Apple like galleries located in high end shopping centers. Tesla also does not anticipate making lots of money from servicing its vehicles since electric cars do not require the oil changes and other maintenance procedures of traditional cars. The direct sales model embraced by Tesla stands as a major affront to car dealers used to haggling with their customers and making their profits from exorbitant maintenance fees. Tesla's recharging stations now run alongside many of the major highways in the United States, Europe, and Asia and can add hundreds of miles of oomph back to a car in about 20 minutes. These so-called supercharging stations are solar powered and Tesla owners pay nothing to refuel. While much of America's infrastructure decays, Musk is building a futuristic end-to-end transportation system that would allow the United States to leapfrog the rest of the world. Musk's vision and of late execution seems to combine the best of Henry Ford and John D. Rockefeller. With Solar City, Musk has funded the largest installer and financer of solar panels for customers and consumers and businesses. Musk helped come up with the idea for Solar City and serves as its chairman, while his cousins Lyndon and Peter Rive run the company. City has managed to undercut dozens of utilities and become a large utility in its own right. During a time in which clean tech businesses have gone bankrupt with alarming regularity, Musk has built two of the most successful clean tech companies in the world. The Musk Company empire of factories, tens of thousands of workers, and industrial might has incumbents on the run and has turned Musk into one of the richest men in the world with a net worth around $10 billion. The visit to Musk land started to make a few things clear about how Musk had pulled all this off. While the putting man on the Mars talk can strike some people as loopy, it gave Musk a unique rallying cry for his companies. It's the sweeping goal that forms the unifying principle over everything he does. Employees at all three companies are well aware of this and well aware that they're trying to achieve the impossible day in and day out. When Musk sets unrealistic goals, verbally abuses employees, and works them to the bone, it's understood to be on some level part of the Mars agenda. Some employees love him for this, others loathe him but remain oddly loyal out of respect for his drive and mission. What Musk has developed that so many of the entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley lack is a meaningful worldview. He's the possessed genius on the hardest, grandest quest anyone has ever concocted. He's less a CEO chasing riches than a general marshaling troops to secure victory. Where Mark Zuckerberg wants to help you share baby photos, Musk wants to, well, save the human race from self-imposed or accidental annihilation. The life that Musk has created to manage all of these endeavors is preposterous. A typical week starts at his mansion in Bel Air, On Monday, he works the entire day at SpaceX. On Tuesday, he begins at SpaceX, then hops onto his jet and flies to Silicon Valley. He spends a couple of days working at Tesla, which has its offices in Palo Alto and factory in Fremont. Musk does not own a home in Northern California and ends up staying at the Lux Rosewood Hotel or at friends' houses. To arrange the stays with friends, Musk's assistant will send an email asking room for one, and if the friend says yes, Musk turns up at the door late at night. Most often he stays in a guest room, but he's also been known to crash on the couch after winding down with some video games. Then it's back to Los Angeles and SpaceX on Thursday. He shares custody of his 5 young boys, twins and triplets, with his ex-wife Justine, and has them 4 days a week. Each year, Musk tabulates the amount of flight time he endures per week to help him get a sense of just how out of hand things are getting. Asked how he survives this schedule, Musk said, "I had a tough childhood, so maybe that was helpful." During one visit to Muskland, he had to squeeze our interview in before heading off for a camping trip at Crater Lake National Park in Oregon. It was almost 8 p.m. on a Friday, so Musk would soon be piling his boys and nannies into his private jet and then meeting drivers who would take him to his friends at the campsite. The friends would then help the Musk clan unpack and complete their pitch black arrival. There would be a bit of hiking over the weekend, then the relaxation would end. Musk would fly with the boys back to Los Angeles on Sunday afternoon. Then he would take off on his own that evening for New York. Sleep, hit him. Morning talk shows on Monday, meetings, email, sleep, fly back to Los Angeles Tuesday morning, work at SpaceX, fly to San Jose Tuesday afternoon to visit the Tesla Motors factory, fly to Washington, D.C. that night and see President Obama, fly back to Los Angeles Wednesday night, spend a couple of days working at SpaceX, then go to a weekend conference held by Google's chairman Eric Schmidt in Yellowstone. At this time, Musk had just split from his second wife, the actress Tallulah Riley, and was trying to calculate if he could mix a personal life into all of this. I think the time allocated to a personal life I think the time allocated to the businesses and the kids is going fine, Musk said. I would like to allocate more time to dating, though. I need to find a girlfriend. That's why I need to carve out just a little more time, I think. Maybe even another 5 to 10. How much time does a woman want a week? TMI. Maybe 10 hours? That's kind of the minimum. I don't know. Musk rarely finds time to decompress, but when he does, the festivities are just as dramatic as the rest of his life. On his 30th birthday, Musk rented out a castle in England for about 20 people. From 2 a.m. until 6 a.m., they played a variation of hide and seek called Sardines, in which one person turns off and hides and everyone else looks for him. Another party occurred indoors. Musk, his brother, and cousins found themselves awake at midnight and decided to bicycle through the city until 6 a.m. They slept all day and then boarded the Orient Express in the evening. Once again, they stayed up all night. The Lucent Dossier Experience, an avant-garde group of performers, were on the luxurious train performing palm readings and acrobatics. When the train arrived in Venice the next day, Musk's family had dinner and then hung out on the patio of their hotel overlooking the Grand Canal until 9 a.m. Musk loves costume parties as well, and turned up at one dressed like a knight and using a parasol to duel a midget wearing a Darth Vader costume. For one of his most recent birthdays, Musk invited 50 people to a castle, or at least the United States' best approximation of a castle in Tarrytown, New York. This party had a Japanese steampunk theme, which is sort of like a sci-fi lover's wet dream, a mix of corsets, leather, and machine worship. Musk dressed as a samurai cosplay. The festivities included a performance of The Mikado, a Victorian comic opera by Gilbert and Sullivan set in Japan at a small theater in the heart of town. I'm not sure the Americans got it, said Riley, whom Musk remarried after his 10-hour-a-week dating plan failed. The Americans and everyone else did enjoy what followed. Back at the castle, Musk donned a blindfold, got pushed up against a wall, and held balloons in each hand and another between his legs. The knife thrower then went to work. I'd seen him before, but did worry that maybe he could have an off day, Musk said. Still, I thought he would maybe hit one gonad, but not both. The onlookers were stunned and frightened for Musk's safety. That was bizarre, said Bill Lee, a technology investor and one of Musk's good friends. But Elon believes in the science of things. One of the world's top sumo wrestlers showed up at the party along with some of his compatriots. A ring had been set up at the castle, and Musk faced off against the champion. He was one. He was 350 pounds, and they were not jiggly pounds. Musk said, "I went full adrenaline rush and managed to lift the guy off the ground. He let me win that first round and then beat me. I think my back is still screwed up." Riley turned planning these types of parties for Musk into an art. She met Musk back in 2008 when his companies were collapsing. She watched him lose his entire fortune and get ridiculed by the press. She knows that the sting of these years remains and has combined with the other traumas in Musk's life, the tragic loss of an infant son and a brutal upbringing in South Africa, to create a tortured soul. Riley has gone to great lengths to make sure Musk escapes from work in this past, leave him feeling refreshed if not healed. I try to think of fun things he has not done before where he can relax, Riley said. We're trying to make up for his miserable childhood now. Genuine as Riley's efforts might have been, they were not entirely effective. Not long after the sumo party, I found Musk back at work at the Tesla headquarters in Palo Alto. It was a Saturday, and the parking lot was full of cars. Inside of the Tesla offices, hundreds of young men were at work, some of them designing car parts on computers and others conducting experiments with electronics equipment on their desks. Musk's uproarious laugh would erupt every few minutes and carry through the entire floor. When Musk came into the meeting room where I had been waiting, I noticed how impressive it was for so many people to turn up on a Saturday. Musk saw the situation in a different light, complaining that fewer and fewer people had been working weekends of late. We're grown. We're grown. Sorry about that. I want to say that's weird, but it's we've, okay, baby? We've grown fucking soft, Musk replied. I was just going to send out an email. We're fucking soft. A word of warning, there's going to be a lot of fuck in this book. Musk adores the word, and so do most of the people in his inner circle. And it's a way to relieve stress. Nothing wrong with that. This kind of declaration seems to fit with our impressions of other visionaries. It's not hard to imagine Howard Hughes or Steve Jobs chastising their workforce in a similar way. Building things, especially big things, is a messy business. In the 2 decades Musk has spent creating companies, he's left behind a trail of people who either adore or despise him. During the course of my reporting, these people lined up to give me their take on Musk and the gory details of how he and his business operate. My dinners with Musk and periodic trips to Muskland revealed a different set of possible truths about the man. He's set about building something that has the potential to be much grander than anything Hughes or Jobs produced. Musk has taken industries like aerospace and automotive that America seems to have given up on and recast them as something new and futuristic. At the heart of this transformation are Musk's skills. Sorry, that word up there is fantastic. Musk's skills as a software maker and his ability to apply them to machines. He's merged atoms and bits in ways that few people thought possible, and the results have been spectacular. It's true enough that Musk has yet to have a consumer hit on the order of the iPhone or to touch more than 1 billion people like Facebook. For the moment, he's still making rich people's toys, and his budding empire could be an exploded rocket or massive Tesla recall away from collapse. On the other hand, Musk's companies have already accomplished far more than his loudest detractors thought possible, and the promise of what's to come has to leave hardened types feeling optimistic during their weaker moments. To me, Elon is the shining example of how Silicon Valley might be able to reinvent itself and be more relevant than chasing these quick IPOs and focusing on getting incremental products out, said Edward Jung, a famed software engineer and inventor. Those things are important, but they are not enough. We need to look at different models of how to do things that are longer term in nature and where the technology is more integrated. The integration mentioned by Jung, the harmonious melding of software, electronics, advanced materials, and computing horsepower appears to be Musk's gift. Squint ever so slightly, and it looks like Musk could be using his skills to pave the way toward an age of astonishing machines and science fiction dreams made manifest. In that sense, Musk comes off much more like Thomas Edison than Howard Hughes. He's an inventor, celebrity businessman, and industrialist, able to take big ideas and turn them into big products. He is employing thousands of people to forge metal in American factories At a time when this was thought to be impossible, born in South Africa, Musk now looks like America's most innovative industrialist and outlandish thinker, and the person most likely to set Silicon Valley on a more ambitious course. Because of Musk, Americans could wake up in 10 years with the most modern highway in the world, a transit system run by thousands of solar powered charging stations and traversed by electric cars. By that time, SpaceX may well be sending up rockets every day, taking people and things to dozens of habitats and making preparations for longer treks to Mars. These advances are simultaneously difficult to fathom and seemingly inevitable if Musk can simply buy enough time to make them work. As his ex-wife Justine puts it, he does what he wants and he is relentless about it. It's Elon's world and the rest of us live in it. Okay, have a great day. See you later, alligator, in a wild crocodile.